Now, what a night it was for Fulham, who clinched the Championship title in style. A 7-0 demolition of Luton at Craven Cottage. It was also a record-breaking night for striker Alexander Mitrovic, who scored his 43rd league goal of the season. And full-time Fulham fans wasted no time in racing onto the pitch to join in the celebrations. It's Fulham's first Championship title since 2001. Oh, if you're going to win the title, you want to do it in style, and they certainly did, didn't they? How impressed have you been with them?
Last night was painful, Rob. Really painful for a
fan, David James.
Yeah. But let's be right. I mean, champions, they went out in that game as looking like champions. They deserve to win the title. And when you've got someone like Mitrovic who's just banging in goals for fun, it looked great, absolutely great. And I'm sure Fulham fans, I can think of one or two who will be slightly happy now and confident that they can do well in the Premier League after that performance, at least. Yeah,
and should we quote a bit of Winston Churchill again? In Mitrovic, he's a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma, isn't he? I think it was Churchill's words. We like a bit of Churchill. Quoted, maybe not, but it sums up Mitrovic, doesn't he? Breaking that record, yet for some reason he seems to not be able to make his mark on the Premier League, does he? What is that about?
Well, I mean, let's be right. He's broken a record, so you could argue that he is becoming a better player, and therefore next season in the Premier League he will be a better version than the last time we saw him. The one thing I was thinking about it last night, there was a side of him which, with 42 goals, is positive, that he wants the ball, he wants to score goals, and you can see that in his physical demeanour. And when I was watching it, I was thinking of another player who joined the Premier League last season in Lukaku, who was demonstrating those exact same physical traits. And at the beginning of the season, you're thinking this is a hungry player who's going to do what he did last season. Obviously, it didn't quite work. Or it hasn't quite worked this season for Romelu Lukaku. My concern for Mitrovic is that in sort of desire to score goals, that sort of anger or hunger, if you like, could then become detrimental to performance if you're not getting the opportunities. And let's be right, they're not going to face a side like they faced last night in the Premier League every week.
Yeah, and let's go from Churchill to Albert Einstein, shall we, on a Tuesday morning.
Of course.
Parable of quantum insanity. Was quoted as saying, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Right, how do Fulham make sure they don't do kind of what they usually do, get promoted, it all looks wonderful, and then, sadly for them, amongst other teams as well, and we'll mention Norwich and others, drop back down again?
Well, I suppose, again, watching last night, as painful it was, there was points in the game, a lot of points in the game, where you looked at the cohesion of that side and it looked beautiful. Some of the football was beautiful. So Marcus Silva's got to try and keep as much of that side together. I talk about Mitrovic again. It might have just been one of those things, and next season will be completely different for him in a positive way. But if you can keep the side together, keep the ethos together, then Fulham should, or could, I say should, they could stay up. And with that stand being built and ready for next season, I believe, then again, they'll have a wonderful atmosphere to play in front of. So could be all right.
What about Fabio Carvalho? There's the Liverpool angle to it. Could they get him somehow, just on loan or whatever? What do you see happening to him?
Well, what he's done this season, you want him to be starting whoever's team, and obviously with Liverpool signing him, you'd want him to be, I say, starting involved in that first team squad, and he looks like he's got the capabilities to fit into a Liverpool side, whether it's regularly every week or whether he's in and out now and again. But if you're Fulham looking at it, then of course, yeah, as I say, if you can sort of basically keep that squad together, then it gives you the best chance, or gives them the best chance going forward. Now, if I'm Liverpool, I'm thinking Carvalho in a Fulham side is going to be dangerous for opponents, then perhaps putting him on loan will actually create a better chance for them, because Fulham will win more games and obviously take points off teams that Liverpool won't be able to do.
I see. Almost Machiavellian. Which is a whole other set of quotes. Sadly, we've got to ask you about Luton as well. I hope this doesn't hurt you too much. The defeat leaves them sixth, 72 points. You've got to take your hat off to the Hatters for even getting to this place, haven't you? But it really has opened up the race for the playoffs, hasn't it?
I mean, Luton, obviously, if they lose, I'm dreading the thought that even Millwall could get into the playoffs. Not that I've got anything against Millwall, but I know one or two of their supporters and they know what I'm saying. I think Nathan will be, I don't need to say this really, but I think Nathan will be very disappointed with the performance. You could tell by watching him on the sideline that he wasn't happy with things. Having said that, they still have the playoffs in their own hands, and I'm very confident that they'll win that last game. And last night will just be a bad defeat. I was actually at one point looking through the record defeats for Luton Town because I was concerned that it was going to turn into a bit of a nasty game. Players are going to get sent off, but they'll be fine.
And we both know that Millwall supporter, and I can tell you, it's that wonderful combination that only football can do with you. There was certainly a sense of excitement and sickness in equal measures in them this morning, that's for sure. Let's get a word on your fellow goalkeeper, Matt Ingram. Goodness me, signed as an emergency loan. Then lets in 7. He'll be in goal for the game against Reading at the weekend. It can be a lonely place being a goalkeeper, can't it? How do you pick yourself up after that?
Oh, Matt Ingram, I tell you what, he made some wonderful saves in the game as well. It looked like a shooting session, and I've been in shooting sessions that look like that, and I've volleyed balls all over the place because it's been really disheartening and even not like a real match. But what we saw last night was a real match, and he let 7 goals in. So I think, again, you just look at the game, look at 90 minutes of football. The team didn't play up to the levels that they've been playing all season, and you just basically brush it under the carpet, win the game on the weekend, and then you're in the playoffs, and then everything's forgotten.